Okay. This James, man. I'm back with another edition. I Just Think Different Podcast. I'm your host. Shout out to all the listeners out there. Everybody that just stopping by, popping up, saying what up, though. I appreciate you, because you could have been anywhere else. Hey, I got my man Harold here with me once again, man. We doing CaPa time. That's what we on. That's the type of time we on, man. CaPa, that's CaPa time for y'all who don't know. It's my man Harold John. He in the building.
Yes, sir.
Once again, I'm your host, James. This is the I Just Think Different Podcast. You know what I'm saying? So, Harold, how you been, man?
Yes, sir.
How's your week, man?
Oh man, I guess it just started, but since our last pod,
Mm-hmm.
it's been very lovely. Um, I ain't got no complaints. You know what I'm saying? Happy blessed union with the wife. Been doing our podcast thing, Shields and Talbot, slowly but surely, and a little bit of music. And you already know, man, the blessings, the prayers, and meditations. That's just that's just daily activities. So we good.
All right, man. Well, for me, I've been cool, man. Been sitting here and really trying to focus on getting this um, podcast together and really trying to add something different every week and trying to add a new element this week. As you can see, I added a little something different, man. Got a little, got a little, got a little CaPa time, little graphics going on. You know what I'm saying? As well as a little
That's
button.
the CAPA.
You know, so that's what I've been doing, trying to focus on that, man. Just trying to bring something new and fresh to the people to let them know in 2020, just do it, man. Just do it. Just do anything that you feel like you have to do. Meaning, if you got something in you that's positive that you got to present to the world and you got that thing in you that you trying to figure out, like, man, I gotta get this. I gotta do something. I want to do something. Just do it. Just do it. Because I'm gonna be honest, most people probably don't even care. They don't. They don't care about nothing that you're doing. They really don't. They only care about what you're doing when they can see something. But you know that you got something for the world and you got to put that out. And once that work comes from you putting it out, people like, hey, the initial startup, though, of course, you want your core people around. You want people who you feel you want around, or like-minded people, or whatever that may be. And when these people don't come through or not around, it becomes effective to you at a point. You're like, man, I wish so and so was here. I'm saying you got to push through all of that and treat whatever your project is as if nobody exists but you, because you are the frontier of it, because it don't work without you. So once you get into position, then everyone else can take their position and they can assist you where you need. You know what I'm saying? And that cycle and system goes with everyone. We use the same, spider web effect, and we keeping it going for our neighbor, our man, our brother, sister, whoever. We just keep that same vibe going. So that's what I just think different is, man. You just want to do it, and as well as bridging the gap between race and people and culture and color and everything in between, to come together and have the conversation of what is it? We gotta have a conversation, man. What's the problem? You know what I'm saying?
That reminds me of something that Father Dick Gregory used to say, which is, my truth doesn't have to be validated by your ignorance. And just like generally speaking, I think about that almost daily in life, that, my validation comes from within and comes from God. and so I don't really look outside myself for any approval or any like thumbs up or pat on the back. You know what I mean? I don't know, for
Definitely.
some reason, like that's never really meant a lot to me in my life. I'm a person that doesn't take compliments well anyway, so it's just like, am I happy with the project? Am I happy with my work? You know what I mean? And I go from there. But you were saying specifically, yeah, it really, in my opinion, it is all about you, especially with something you're passionate about. You know, you got to do what's in your heart and what you feel is right, and follow your aspirations. And I think if you do that long enough, like you'll gain your following, you'll gain your, quote unquote fans or support system. You just gotta believe, man. Believe and keep going.
Exactly. Not only does that work in a self situation, that works in a work situation as well, because an individual
Hmm.
is a teammate. So when you play in your position and you play in your role, the team works effectively and everybody can get the work done. So I mean, this is a whole
Yes, sir.
hookup thing here, man. This ain't just it's an individual battle at the same time as recognizing where you fit in as an individual to help others, because that's the mold. That's what is necessary. That is what keeps us moving as humans, man. Because we all we got. Who else we got? We got you know UFOs coming down, scooping us up, teaching us the game. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might have had
Right.
that experience. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. But far as I know, far as I've seen, we only got human beings out here, man. That's all we got.
I mean,
So,
we talk about the Dogons, but that's different.
man.
Talk about
But
them Hopies.
yeah.
You feel me?
All right, man. So getting into today, man, what I want to talk about and what I want to talk about for the next 7 weeks, or 7 episodes rather, is seven deadly sins, man. I want to get into that. I want to get into the
Ooh.
seven deadly sins, and I want to get into the correspondence, the
Okay.
virtue side on that, the other side of that. So that's what this episode is, man. Humility over pride. That's what I feel. One of them
All
seven
right.
being, pride. Now, pride, can be looked at in many different ways, but
Mm-hmm.
I can only see it as one way. You don't want to accept. No, you'd rather have your way than whatever way is presented. And you would rather have your way so much that you would argue that it should be done a different way when it's not your thing, or when even asked. Now, when asked and
Can
someone
I pause you
says,
1 second?
yes, sir,
Can you give me a specific example?
yeah,
Yeah, give me
a, pri-
something
a prideful
real.
thing would be, um, um,
Like maybe
oh,
some
oh,
you dealing with or you dealt
oh, I deal with it all the time, man. Um,
with.
a prideful thing for me would be, um, hey, shut up. Oh, okay. A lot of others would take that as, I mean, who you talking to? Like, hey, hold on. Like, I've learned, it's better to just close it, because now
Hmm.
if I activate that pride and that hunger and that ego that just want to just,
Hmm.
give something back, then it usually ends up in a backlash. For instance, um, if you supposed to think before you speak, then you should use that at all times. It seems we use it most times, and then most times when you get caught up on it, you get called out for it for not using it all the time, because nobody uses it all
Hmm.
the time, because we transparent here. When you use it, you gotta think, hey man, if I say this, it's gonna turn the tables real fast. So that probably shouldn't be said or done, or maybe it should be said in a different way or format, or I should not say anything at all. And guess what? I'm gonna put it in God's hands, and I'm gonna completely fall back and remove myself from the situation and not deal with it at all. So, then whatever happens to that person just happens to that person. It didn't have nothing to do with me. God handled
Right.
it as the hands I put it in. So, or you
Did
can
like
attack my.
just a quick question. Did
Yes,
something
sir.
happen recently that kind of inspired you to have this conversation?
No, I wanted to talk about these seven, and I just started with
Okay.
that one first. Oh, we
Cool,
keep
cool.
going.
Yeah,
Week
so
two,
pride.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Pride, there's like uh, a healthy level of pride. When I this the example that you gave about like if somebody talks to you out the side of their mouth or whatever, it the way I see it is I'm situational. Like it depends on it really is like a calculated thing for me. Who's saying it to me? What's their relationship? Where are we? Are we in public? Are we in private? How am I feeling right now? There's a lot that goes into how I respond to that because there are plenty of people who I love, respect, and look up to who can tell me whatever they want to tell me. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna take that because in the way I see things, they're up here and I'm down here, so I can uh, relinquish my pride in those moments. But those are special relationships. I can't do that with everyone. I don't think anyone should. That's why I say situational. It's like Bruce Lee said, you gotta be like water.
But that was my point. Like even you said yourself, like, oh, it's a situational thing. So this person I can't.
Hmm.
So if you can't, that means you recognize it. So which means we're not activating it at all times. You see what I'm saying? If it was activated at all times, then everything would be a humility situation, and we would reserve pride for where it need to be
Hmm.
reserved at, because it's just best to just
Hmm.
take the other, turn the other cheek and keep it moving, because because death is at the end of that, really. If you,
Sometimes
you know what I'm saying?
there's sometimes I have to
It's
address
either
it.
death or you dead to me. You know, death or dead to me, which is all the
I
same.
think
You see
that's
what
a
I'm
good
saying?
point. I think that's a good point. Um, I'm always looking internally, so it's like if somebody disrespects me or whatever, I'm not trying to control them or even teach them anything. It's just like, okay, how am I going to respond? Most things are how you react to them. It's not even about the situation, it's about how you react. So I can kind of play the tape out, so to speak, and figure out what my actions are going to be and where that's going to lead me. And I always want it to lead me to a positive, fortified place.
And that comes with whatever the action was presented.
Sure. Yeah, that determines
So,
a lot.
yeah, that determines a lot. But that other person that made the action, if that action was out of line, I'm pretty sure it's like, oh, come on, dog, you should have known better. You know, you should have
Yeah, it
known
depends.
better than to do that. Is the attitude we have. Of course, they don't know if they don't know us, but in ourselves, subconscious, we're
Hmm.
like, "Come on, dog,
Hmm.
why'd you do that? Now I gotta go here with you, man." You know what I'm saying? And then when that's all over, and then now
Hmm.
we like, "Man, was it really that serious? Did I really need to go that far with it?" You see what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, dang, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I remember uh, one time uh, a while ago, years ago. Um, I remember me and my sister was getting into it and was arguing, and I think we was fussing and fighting, arguing in the back car, and I was like, "Yo, pull the car over. We can get in right now." Like, wait, pull the car over. We about to get it in. I mean, I was like, man, like, dog, we really about to get it in, yo. Like, I don't even remember if we actually fought or not, but to be in that mindset of like, oh no, let's just pull this over and handle it right now, it's just like crazy. And then to even Try to fight your own sister is another thing. You know what I'm saying? All this is going on. You like, dog, that's dumb. Like what are we talking about? But when you with your siblings, you're like you don't think about none of that, man. This a whole again situational. This is a sibling thing. Siblings fight and tussle all the time per se. That's what people
Oh
say,
yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? So this is a whole another level, you know. But it's not. It's a human being and it's a woman, so it's not another level. That's where I'm going with it. That's where I'm going with the humility part. That shouldn't have never happened. You see what I'm saying? Like we shouldn't be in situations like that. And you know what I'm saying, being humiliated would have been sitting there getting abused right there. I call into action like, okay, you a tough guy. Now take this whipping. Now you get roughed up. Now from now on, hey man, just don't say nothing, dog. You know what I'm saying? Just sit out. It's all good,
Right.
bro. You know what I'm saying? Or just don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Move it all and take it. That's humility too. That's letting your pride go. Like, hey, you could say a lot, and those words could hurt or lead to worse. So don't say nothing. That's humility, man. Like, cause now everybody's looking at you like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
You know what next? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, hey, what's going on? Where's the show? And you just like, nah, okay, all right, well, whatever, all right. Boo! We want
Yeah.
to see a show.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Like
Like, you know what I mean?
I'm really I hate to keep like repeating myself, but for me it's always
Situational.
situational. It is
Yeah.
because in one it may be best to just humble yourself and just walk
All
away,
right.
and that's the best
So
course of
give it
action.
to me.
And in another, you may have to step up and defend yourself, whether it's verbally or otherwise, because you can mentally look down the road and know that if I allow this person in this situation with this audience to treat me this way and there's no response, it's going to lead to a whole shitstorm of things down the road. And I've dealt with that professionally and personally. And when I reflect on those times, it's like, man, if I knew then what I know now, like when that happened at the job, like I would have addressed it there instead of just humbling myself, or times when I didn't humble myself, I should have been like, man, you know what? I should have just been classy and walked away. So it's just, it's situations. And I think the most important thing I would say is the actual reflection afterwards
Mm-hmm.
to see where you could have improved. That way in the future you can do better. Because ain't none of us perfect, but
All right.
we strive to be a little better.
Now, in those situations where it was reactive and non-reactive, would
Hmm.
you agree in all of those times it was a time, a thought that said, man, I could have just pulled this aside and said, hey, you know what I'm saying, in a whole new different manner. Would you agree? Or is it never a time where you could pull it aside and say, hey, let's talk this one out before it get destructive? Or is just always, straight destructive? Well, I guess what I'm saying is there a time where things can't be talked out?
Of course. But that's the to me that's the well, it's kind of two. Before I go there, let me go this way. Always remember that in those situations there's another person. There's at least one other person who you can't control. So in some regard, like it doesn't matter what you do, like that person's gonna do what they do also. So that's kind of the wild card in those situations. Because for instance, like you were just saying, you know, a heated debate, verbal exchange, there's the potential for it to go to become worse, right? Always. You may in those moments, no matter how upset you are, want to actually tap that person and say, hey, look, I'm upset, you're upset. Hey, let's go to the side and just talk about this. But if that person don't want to talk, then what you gonna do, right? And then sometimes I think that uh, people want to solve problems or challenges in the moment when I think when things are most contentious, it may be better for both parties involved to walk away and come back to the table when they're in a better place. But most people want to get it done right then and there, but solving it right then and there may not be the best thing. It's like diplomacy between nations. Before there's war, there are many conversations. Like there are many negotiations. They trying to meet in the middle, and war is always the last resort. It's an option, but it's supposed to be the last option. You're supposed to be able to communicate and try to meet in the middle before anything.
Exactly, a conversation, right? So at the end of it,
Mm-hmm.
there should be some sort of conversation, right?
And it could take several to solve the issue. You
But
know,
a
you got
conversation,
to have the patience for that.
yeah, but a conversation has to be had. You know what I mean? You can't get nowhere
Hopefully,
without the conversation. You can't go straight to some combat. You know, some
some
people
people
do.
do.
It's that's that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
not
So when
saying
you
that's
get
the best
met with
course
it,
of action,
me either.
but
But when you get met with it, so now what are you supposed to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, boom, like, oh, still supposed to, still be, you know, prideful and, and be cool when somebody riding on you and rolling on you, or yeah, still be take some pride with you and some ego too, and boss up and say, man, hold on, man. You know, again, situations out here, right?
hmm
Um,
it's a good Brother Lynch song, Situation.
so tell me something. Okay, all right. I see some live here. I can add something in here. Boom. Did the link go in the chat? Might have been some link in the chat. Did it go in the chat?
Oh, I see some. Let me click this. What we got here?
Boom.
Oh, we got some folks in here.
Yeah.
I see that. Okay. I didn't even know, man. Shoot, let me promote. Let me send a text to somebody
Uh,
on my phone.
okay.
Um, Lovely.
So
What's that
yeah.
number again?
Oh, that's the
Uh, oh, it's
the
just on
the
YouTube?
yeah. It's just on YouTube.
Okay.
Mhm.
Got it. Go ahead. You can ask the question, bro.
Oh, yeah. So give me an example of your pride when your pride went too far.
Wow.
Your ego, you
Just
let your
one.
ego get the best of you.
Um,
Uh oh.
a lot, man. Uh, I say when I was younger, getting into fights in the streets, which could have led to my death, you know what I mean, or prison.
Yeah.
Um, you know, uh, family situations, relationship situations. Um, there's so many. There's a lot. But I don't kick myself for that. I was learning, I was growing. The important thing is that I survived all that, and I never did any irreparable harm to anyone. I never did something that couldn't be taken back or I couldn't make amends for later.
Right.
I think that's most important. So, name it, I probably did it, besides that drastic stuff. You know,
When have you seen humility? When you over, get your best.
probably the example that pops out at me most is uh, the ninth step of AA. Wait, is it the ninth? I think the ninth is when you write out your list of people that you harmed or wronged, and you write exactly what you did wrong. And then I think maybe the tenth is when you actually reach out to those people. The caveat though is you don't reach out to anyone who you might harm further. So like for example, if I had an ex-girlfriend and I cheated on her and I really broke her heart and she literally said, I never want to see or speak to you again, then even though I'm writing my amends and I'm sharing it with my sponsor, it would not be a good idea for me to reach out to her because I may harm her just by contacting her, even though I want to apologize. Like, it's not up to me, you know what I mean? So I went through that during that process. There were a couple of people who I never reached out to, but I just wrote it out, told my sponsor, and prayed and gave it to God. And then the majority of people I was actually able to talk to, write a letter to, etc.
Yeah, see. But that reaching out, how did that make you feel reaching out to them? Like, what made you feel like you had to get that message out to them?
Well, it was part of the program. Like when you engage in sobriety and 12 steps, it's mandatory. And your sponsor tells you when you completed a step, tells you how to do it. So it was like it was part of it. It was just something that I had to do that I signed up for willingly. And the first, I think the first person I reached out to was my biological father. We hadn't had a relationship, I mean, in like 12 or so years. I think I had saw him maybe once, talked to him a couple of times. And the reason I did that is because he was the person in my life who had hurt me the most. And I didn't necessarily feel like I ever did anything wrong, but what I did, and maybe this is just a strategic thing, was if I can apologize, if I could reach out to him and apologize to him, then that'll make the rest of this list easier. And I did do that. And I turned out to be right. It was easier to reach out to other family members, friends, or ex-girlfriends. It made it a lot easier, the rest of the process a lot easier. But then there's
Yeah,
also a living amends, which is every day if you do something that harms someone, or maybe your intent and your impact didn't meet up, uh, either you try to apologize for that immediately, or at least you like journal about it, have your conversation with God about it, and attempt not to do it again. And that's called a living amends.
yeah. So, through going through AA,
Mhm.
what was that's humility within itself because now you got to stand in the middle of a room. Oh, matter of fact, I don't know how it would go. Why don't you explain that experience? Was it like you see in the movies? Did you have to stand in the middle of a room and go in a circle and raise your hand and say, "Hi, I'm Harold, and I'm from the Bay."
Yeah,
You know
something
what I'm
like
saying?
yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
All right, so that's humility, man. It's a room full of people you don't even know. So,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
but is everybody there for AA though? Like, is everybody is it uh all alcohol anonymous, or is it just you know?
Well, uh, there's different 12-step programs. So AA is alcohol, obviously. There's NA, Narcotics Anonymous. There's was adult dependence of alcoholics, like ADA, I think. Like there's so many different groups. There's sex addicts anonymous. Like there's all kinds of food anonymous. Like there's all kinds of stuff. Uh, you're right though. It is an exercise of humility because you have to let go of your ego, like to share in a room full of strangers. The
Yeah,
interesting thing though that well, two things. The first time I ever went to an A meeting was 2006 in Vallejo. It's the Vallejo Fellowship. It's on the corner of what is it, Tennessee Street in Monterey in the V, I think. And I went because my auntie, the one who made me switch my major to psychology from music, who told me I need to figure myself out, was like, you need to go to a meeting, like go now. And so I went and I listened to all these folks. Most of them were from the V, and they had all these stories, man. I mean, it's 2006, bro. So I was like 20, 21, and maybe not. Yeah, yeah, that's right. And they had all these stories, man. I'm talking about everything, crack, meth, prison, molested as a child, like homeless, like all these crazy stories, right? But they're not that crazy because that's real life. And I was sitting back, and I'm like, I was just quiet. I didn't really talk to anybody. And I came to the conclusion that, man, I don't belong here. I'm like, man, I'm just a young kid. I'm a college boy that likes to party. Like, you know what I mean? I don't belong here. I left the meeting went to the liquor store and got some Hennessy. Like, you know what I mean? And then what I
Oh man.
realized over the years is, and I didn't realize it till 2014 in San Francisco when I decided to get sober for real, when I got a sponsor and started working the steps, a lot of those stories I heard, I can now share them in those stories. Like the incidents with the police, being homeless, like, being in violent, or dangerous situations, like, getting kicked out of school or, all these different things, being estranged from family. And it was like, wow, if I would have just had humility that first meeting, if I would have tried to be wise instead of hard headed, like, you know what? All these stories, I don't want to share those stories. Maybe I should listen to these folks. Maybe I should do whatever they asked me to do. But like my mom said, I was always hard headed. I had to learn for myself. So, yeah, AA is about, or any program, I would say, it is about humility because you have to recognize that you're not in control, and then you give yourself over to do whatever those folks tell you to do. And for most people to do that, their life gets exponentially better.
Yeah, see, that's a form of our humility wins over the pride, man. So it's way better results with being humiliated than being prideful and having ego. So I'm trying to figure out why does the pride still happen if you know why still things situational when
Oh man.
it's
Oh man. Because there ain't no end.
it's a why like it's so hard to just what it is it's hard. What is that?
As long as we breathing, brother. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Oh, what's this? Is it Rosa Gaddick? Hold on, let me go from the top. She said, "Being the bigger person can come with humility." I agree. Um, 80s baby soul and 90s love said, "Hey girl," and Rosa. She said she want to go live on this topic, and then she said, "Sometimes your pride will cause humiliation." Amen to that, Rosa.
I put the link up. Rosa, where you at? Go hit that link again. Yo, so pride, I feel, is the simplistic, easy go-to thing because it's so sudden and it's just reactive. It take time and
Hmm.
patience that we say. Oh, it take patience. That means time. We gotta grow. So it take
Hmm.
time to get to that humility part. So pride is instant. So you instantly want to just, oh, hold on, like wait a minute. So going through these different experiences is a form of building time, but also learning and reading from others is a way of building some time and some gain. Also, thinking it through could also produce you and save you some time. But we ain't got that much time, dog. Things got to be handled right now. Hey, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? It'd be nice to sit at the round table, dog, but nah, man, you got to go. And sometimes people could agree that, hey, you just got to go. You know, you just got to go.
And when you
And
say go, you mean like no longer?
no, you just got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like at a job, hey,
Ah,
man, we got to get this
okay,
dude up out
okay.
of here, man. You know, hey, you fired. You got to go, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? You got to go. You know what I'm saying? We don't like you. You know
And
what I'm
that's
saying?
okay too,
Yeah, it's cool.
depending on the situation,
Yeah, because you about to
you
come
know.
up in a whole nother spot, you know? That means somebody else about to pick you up. You know what I'm saying? So you about to be the number
Yeah,
one draft pick on somebody
yeah.
else's squad. You know what I'm saying?
You cannot uh, satisfy everyone. So, depending on the situation, like some people's feelings might get hurt, and some people may feel that they were wronged, or that They were treated unfairly. I think though that time reveals all things, and I've had this happen. I've been the person who thought I was wrong, and time went on, and I look back like, damn, I was on some BS. Like for real, you know what I mean? Like that person or those people, they were right to do that because I was on some, I was many, or it's happened the other way around where I've said something to someone or and they felt like it was unfair, but time goes on, and then out of nowhere, I get a text, an apology, like, man, I didn't understand what you were trying to say, but I get it now, and, my bad. So it's the full circle, man. It's all good. As long as we remain teachable, coachable, it'll be all right.
That is true. That is true. The key element is the willingness and openness, though. But that's what we all want, right? We all want to be understood and listened to. That's the human's point, right? Like, hey, just hear me out, listen to me, or respect what I'm saying, or what I'm saying is king, or what I say go. Or like at the end of the day, that
That's
comes from
why,
somebody just listening to what I'm saying and carrying it on without no kickback. Nobody want to hit no
this is
kickback.
why, not to cut you off, brother, but
Hmm.
that's a really good point. And that is why everyone does want to be listened to. Everybody wants to be heard, which is why I'm such a huge proponent and advocate for therapy, because that is what it's there for. And it's not like you're just talking to a friend or a family member who has no expertise. You're talking to someone who you can choose, who you vibe with, who went to school, who got training, who held residencies, and who has professional experience with helping someone just like you and can tailor the advice or the suggestions to you specifically. So that's why I always say, and I'm not an advocate for like medication unless somebody's suicidal or homicidal. I think talk therapy is first and foremost, and like maybe some sort of behavioral, right? But everyone, if they can afford it and if they have the time, like man, get you a therapist, bruh. Like if you're open to it, I'm telling you, it can really change your life. And I understand from our community and culture. Trust me, I get it. You ain't trying to tell somebody you don't know all your secrets, but maybe, but you don't. It's not like you give away everything. You only talk about what you're comfortable with, and you can. I mean, we know all kinds of people. We all got connections. Like talk to your network and be like, hey, do you know anyone that, comes from my culture, my community, that's a therapist that I could talk to, and you could get a recommendation. You know what I mean? So that's all.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I talked to my therapist today, man. Appointment at 3 o'clock. So every other week, we
Good
on. So
conversation.
yeah, man. Good conversation, man. I haven't talked to
That's what's
him
up.
since back in October. We just got back popping
Mm,
uh 2 weeks ago. So I think 2 weeks ago was the first time back this year. So yeah, man.
hmm
I find it useful. You know. Um, I definitely find it useful to be able to talk to somebody or somebody that have an outlet too. That's what I come to. I mean, I could sit here and talk to myself, but won't get nowhere. It has to be something on the end that says, "Okay, I hear what you're saying, so let me direct that energy and put it over here." Or, "Hey, you should use that and do this."
You
Or,
know
you know what
what?
I'm saying? You should, it's directive. Like,
That
okay, you got
reminds
all that
me,
sauce.
yeah, that reminds me a little bit of my wife because she's a verbal processor. I'm more of like an internal, maybe perhaps too cerebral processor, but she really likes to talk things out. And even when she doesn't even want my opinion, she verbalizes things. And then I'll be like, oh, I think. And she's like, nah, I was just getting it out. I just had to figure out my plan. But sometimes, yeah, she does want an answer or wants an opinion. So that's also important. Like everyone's a different kind of learner. Everyone's a different kind of processor, and I think it's important for an individual to know what kind you are, and that way you can communicate that to your support systems. Because the people that love you are going to be there for you. I think sometimes the lack of communication kind of creates this rift or a perceived rift. So we harp on this every week, man. Like communication is big.
Communication is big, and it's a key
Hmm.
element in foundation in having relationships. That's
Yes.
the core root of having a relationship with somebody. And you will hope that when when the foundation is built, that is built with a good structure. You know, most times it seems like you get a good structure, but sometimes in the middle of the build, it was a hole in the drywall. You know what I'm saying? It was somebody went to sleep on that part of the job and messed up the structure. You see what I'm saying? So you like, damn,
Right.
I ain't know these walls was messed up. I thought I had a good interior decorator and designer.
Oh,
You
these
know what I'm
walls is
saying?
hollow.
Oh man, you get it. So hey, but again, that comes with time. The more you get to building those walls, again, my granddad told me all the time, "Oh man, you hard head, you hard head, you hard head, hard head."
Hmm.
Now, if I was paying attention, I only had a couple years with him too. So if I had utilized all of that to the degree that I should have at that time, that would have been probably greatly beneficial at this time for me. Like he was teaching me how to plant a garden and he was growing his own okra and stuff like that, man,
Hmm.
green beans and peas and he had blackberries growing on the side of his garage. He would pick strawberries,
Hmm.
make strawberry jam, jelly. He made blackberry wine. I mean, was a handyman, would go put up drywall and fix things, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, old
Renaissance
school.
man.
Yeah, old school like Bonneville car metal boy that wouldn't go past 70 though. When it hit 70, it made this buzz like bzzz. Like I'm
One
like,
of them
yo,
old plays.
yeah, you couldn't use cuz and then that was what like 93, 94, 95, 6
Hmm.
somewhere in those in between those times. So I don't even think we wasn't even up to 70 miles an hour yet on the freeway. Legitimately, I don't think. I'm not sure. I definitely wasn't driving at that time, but I don't recall seeing 70 on the road till later on in life. I thought it was
Hmm.
definitely 55, 65 most of my life. And then that 70 start popping up a little later. You like, yeah, I can't wait till I drive. Then some places
Right.
get you with the 75. It's like, oh yeah. Some parts in Texas, 75. Let's go. Clean, man.
Well, it's never too late. All those things that he taught you, unless you forgot what he said, like it's never too late to apply those things.
Nah, I didn't forget. I actually like started cutting grass a lot going over there, man. I used to cut grass, but I
Hmm.
seen grass cutting as therapeutic sometimes because you could cut grass with an attitude, or
It
you could cut the
is.
grass and try to have them dope lines though. Like if you could, hey, if you can picture, if you can baseball your yard, yo,
Right.
you,
Or
hey,
even football gridiron your
yo,
yard.
you know what I'm saying?
Like,
Yo, you out there like that, just home, just you yourself,
hmm
like, oh, okay,
you know
nice.
what? That reminds me. Um, I'll be telling my wife about this. Like, I don't look at dishes or sweeping up or any of that as like a chore or laundry. Because to me, mindless tasks are an opportunity for meditation. I don't have to think to do none of this, so I can just kind of, I mean, if there's something on my mind, cool, this is a perfect time to think about it while I'm doing something. Or I
Mhm.
can just not think of anything, and it's a meditation in action, you know?
Yo, April Floyd said, why do people you love hold back the truth about how they feel, and why
Mm,
say one thing and show another? Oh,
mm.
let's see. I'll take the first one. Why do people you love hold back the truth about how they feel? Well, you should be thinking about what you saying. So think before you speak. So sometimes I might not have the proper words to give you or should have any words to give you at all. At this point, I don't have nothing to say, so it's cool. But just because a person don't have nothing to say, don't mean they not there for you or available for you when something may happen. Hey, here, I need you to watch my kid real quick. I know we ain't spoke, but oh yeah, I got little nephew or niece or something, drop them, boom, got you, or yeah, I got my little bro, little sis, boom, come on. But at the same time, people have to activate communication. Now, I feel that it's been hard for people to activate real communication because we all hear people be like, "Oh, I'm a real one, and I'm real. I get it all the time, right?" But the real to me is if there was a problem, it spoke right now. We go handle this right now, and we not handling it where we acting a fool and we crazy and boasting in front of everybody like that. We say, okay, here, let me holler at you for a minute. Let me pull you to the side. And let's get some understanding. Let's break some things down, and you can get a better understanding of who I am and what I need versus what you think you should be getting from me or what you want to receive from me. We got to have that understanding of, because we shouldn't be expecting nothing. The only way to know how to really treat somebody is to tell them how you want to be treated. We get told to treat people how you want to be treated, but then when you go out here and treat people like you want to be treated, you feel like it's not being reciprocated. So now you asking, like, dang, what's going on? This ain't right. Well, sometimes they might not know how you've been doing things and rolling. So therefore, you gotta see people on their level on their side, right? And you like, well, why should I stoop down or dupe down to their side or to their level? Well, again, it's being humiliated over pride, right? Okay, let me dope down your level real quick, cause I can meet you down there. It's okay. I'm not over coming down here because we all down here, right? Because pride will have me flying like a eagle, right? So I gotta come down. So yeah, I gotta be down here anyway, where I should be, so we can meet face to face. Because I ain't over you and you ain't over me. People show another thing because people really don't really know how to show love. A lot of things, a lot of times you get told, um, love yourself. You know, love others like you love yourself, right? But how can you love others when you don't love yourself? But love is God. God is love, and so people look for love in some type of image and thing, but God is really love. So to really get true love, you gotta tap into God. Then God enables that to be maneuvered through the person, and it comes out in genuine form. To be forced upon somebody, now you're getting actions that you're not quite ready for, and you think it's come off in a little shady and scammy, when really they don't really know how to react either, because people really don't know what the love is. But when we sitting down having a conversation and you just displaying real love by just being genuine regardless, because yo, if I'm cussing you out, barking you every time, you're like, well, why am I still taking care of you, love me? That's love though. Breaking through all of that is still love. Still doing it because you doing it like you doing it for God. That's why you ain't concerned about what this person doing for you. You go let God take care of them. Don't worry about it. But you don't stop you from doing the right thing. Now, if it's been told for you the right thing for you to remove yourself from them people, then you know you gotta fall back. It's okay. People can be removed. You remove yourself, and it's all good. You just stay there, and I'm gonna stay here. And there is no love lost. There can't be any love lost. But at this chapter in my life, and for this season, uh, we have to separate. Maybe a season where we come back and connect. Harold, you take it over.
Hmm. Oh man, I think that was church right there. Um, I know I'm supposed to do question two, but let me just get this straight. Why do people hold back the truth about how they feel? Why say one thing and show another? Okay. See, for me, oh, it's my dog Booty. For me, I like information. I like to base my decisions on the information that other people present to me. So intellectually, I don't really get into someone else's thought process. Um, Even if I love them and even if I know them, I like to judge people first and foremost by their actions. Like that's most important. That's the most pertinent information for me. And then the words come secondary, and I try to match them up. But I don't get into diagnosing somebody or trying to figure somebody else out psychologically. I'm not a therapist. Like, that's not what I do. So I just take the information presented to me and I make sure my actions are governed by that. And that I don't get myself into a situation where I'm hurting myself for the benefit of someone else. Because when someone really loves you, they won't allow that to happen, at least not for a significant amount of time, in my opinion.
Yeah, see. So if they allow it to go past a certain amount of time, do you feel
Hmm.
that why do you feel that that love wasn't there? Maybe it could be just a little bit. Again, it's not that season yet. It may just not be that time for us to have that convo, like you saying. It may take some time. So, but the
Some people
problem
in your
is
life for seasons.
we
You
can't
know that.
dictate nobody time clock. That's the problem. But we
Right.
think it should
I
come at
guess
a
what I'm
certain
talking
time.
about,
You know what I mean?
I, I feel you. What I'm talking about is like self-love. So just based on Miss Floyd's questions, um, well, first of all, I wouldn't even get into trying to diagnose somebody else and why they're doing what they're doing. I would be more concerned with what are their actions, how does that match up with their words, and then is my relationship with this person hurting me? Like, am I hurting myself by allowing this person to stay in my life and do whatever it is that they're doing? And at a certain point, you got to choose yourself. You got to choose self love. And everybody has their breaking point or whatever, or their, straw that breaks the camel's back. But yeah, at a certain point, like you were saying, James, like you may have to let them go. Some people aren't in life for seasons, and it can hurt to let them go. But to me, that's better to just go through. That's like Hove said this, like, don't run from the pain, go towards it. I'd rather go through the pain now than suffer in silence for the next 2, 5, 10 years or whatever. Let's get that pain over with because I know I'm gonna be all right. Especially if somebody's detrimental to your happiness, like it's best that they go and as soon as possible, and you get back to yourself and being happy.
Exactly. And no one else can make you happy. Like you have to find happiness within self. If you're waiting for
True,
another person to make you happy, then the game is
true
already
that.
lost for you.
Mm. Oh, you cooking tonight, man. I see the wrist whipping. We over the
Oh,
stove.
oh man. Oh man. So yeah, man. That's very interesting. This topic is thing. What bro, so guys, sometimes pride has to be put to the side and take that L. That truth will
Mm.
start to hurt and may cause embarrassment, but take it with love and shut and shut the f up and let it marinate. All right,
That's one of my
exactly.
favorite words, marinate.
Marinate. Let it
I use that often.
let it marinate. You got to.
Hmm.
Uh, sitting back, man. Again, being humiliated is a good payoff. It's something that pays off big, man. It pays off real
Hmm.
big when you allow it.
If you take it as a lesson and not an L.
Yes. Well, that's the correct L. See, that's the thing. We've
Mm.
been naming things wrong, but we got the right intention, but we did it wrong. But so you got to put the right L in perspective. See, it's never a loss. It's always a lesson learned. Those are the
You
only two
dig?
L's, unless it's the last name on me. You dig? So
Mm.
that's what's going on. Hey, I can't see it no other way than um, to just do it the right way, man. You got to be tapped in. You got to be tapped in. Hey, one thing I did say was, how can I love you when I don't love myself? Ooh, all right, hold
That's
on.
very important. That's the
So,
cornerstone to
so,
build your happiness.
remember I said, love is God. God is love, right? You have to tap into God to get the love, because you're looking for that through a human that can't provide that for you. That's coming
Right.
from a whole nother other source.
Yes.
Now we have the understanding we are spiritual beings. Yes? Yes, we're spiritual beings. This, what you see, is the flesh shell that I'm in, and I'm supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
in the world, but not of it. So here's the
Mm.
problem. When
Talk
I'm
about it.
looking in the mirror, I'm not comfortable with what I see. So now, essentially, what I'm saying is that God made a mistake because the flesh body that I'm in, He made perfect.
Mm.
So now I'm saying I don't agree with it because the world has an issue with it, and they gonna harass me and talk about me and make me feel bad or feel some ways. As a matter of fact, I don't care what
Mm-hmm.
the world is gonna say. I don't like what I see. So I have a problem. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a problem. Who I got a problem with? I can't have a problem with my parents. It ain't their fault. Who I got a problem? I gotta go talk to God. Oh, I got a God. I got a problem with God. Lord, I got a problem with God. Oh, you don't want
Mm-hmm.
to say that. See, people don't want to say that, right? They got situations in the Bible, stories in the Bible all the time. David going in on God, multiple people having discussions. Hey, man, look, dog, I don't know what's going on. You find some type of revelation at that point, huh? You get to talking to the air at that point, don't you? You gotta have some
Mm-hmm.
understanding, dog. You gotta go talk to God.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you gotta get. And from that conversation, he said, "Oh man, you had it so bad you came to holler at me. Let me hit you with this." And now you going out there and you got more sauce. You feeling swaggy on them. You shaking your shoulder. You're shining. You got the shimmy going right. You're shining on them. I got one question to ask Harold. Can you tell me this,
Mm.
my brother?
What's that?
If we as human beings are all light beams,
Mm-hmm.
we spiritual beings, we light beams, then how can I ever walk into a dark room?
Mm. You only would if you haven't received that light.
So when you walk into that room and it get dark, and you get in there and you like, I don't like the vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
You supposed to leave, or you supposed to be that light beam that light that room up.
This little light of mine,
See what I'm saying?
I'm gonna
Hey,
let it
the
shine.
party don't start till you get there. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know that.
So, hey, what will be
Say
the
the party
problem?
ain't a party till I walk in.
We got self-esteem issues because we don't like what we see. Now, I'll be honest. I'm a I'm a male with titties. I had taped my taped myself walking across the stage, trying to hide myself in the dang going in eighth grade. But you like, well, I see Biggie, Ross, and all of these cats. Nobody give a damn
Said fat,
pun.
black, and ugly as
Oh,
ever. However.
who give a damn? But then
Mm-hmm.
I go to the doctor and he like, oh no, you got this. You got the male disease. What was going on? I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know about all that. And then I find out,
I
you
feel you,
know,
Rosa. I was
yo,
chubby in the sixth grade.
yo, man.
It's pictures.
Oh, it's crazy, man. But what I'm saying is, yo, we all go through a little something. But what I'm saying now, like that just don't make no sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy for a child to even go through something like that, or for any human to have to go through something like that. I get it, dog. But again, That's because I had a problem with myself. This is the body that I'm in, dog. I can't be mad at that. So all I can do is allow the inner me to shine out to y'all. I can't be judgmental with what I just naturally have. I have to take that and I have to use it for my good and the greater good of the ones around me to let them know, like, yo, we are all flawed. There are no perfect beings walking this earth. So, with that being
Mm-mm.
said, then how am I any different than you? So, let's go out here and make each other beneficial to the world. Let's make us beneficial to the world. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why are we not doing that? Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh,
That's the thing.
shoot. I mean, that was a mic drop. Hey, brother, we already talked about it before. You know, I'm feeling
Yeah.
this conversation. I'm really happy we got some folks in here, and hopefully you can keep continuing it. But you know, I got that midnight deadline, bruh.
All right, Harold. We go thank
So
Harold for coming by. We go check you again next week on CaPa time. Check back in.
appreciate you, brother. Always a pleasure.
Uh,
Salute, man, to the PA.
all right.
California love.
Peace. All right, now. Now that's that open slot. We slide in. Boom. So, what's that? How do you be the light to someone who likes the dark? How do you be the light to someone that likes the dark? The light will always be shown. That's something that can't even be in the dark. Light can't even see the dark, and the dark can't hide from the light. So, that's one of those things that that pride just got to be let go and shut down whenever you run into that type of situation. Definitely. Huh. And yes, move around the light. How can you move around the light? That's like a flashlight. So a flashlight is a beam, a ray of light. So you can dodge a ray, right? You can move around it and make isolated moves. But ultimately, the real light, which is the sun, will catch you. That's the light. That's the real light. So that light right there is all in us. So when you unleash that, then whoever has an issue, they'll know. They'll also have to bow and, hey, demons wanted to jump into pigs when they came across Yahshua. So, you know, they even had enough sense to say, you know what, man, hey, don't fry us. Let me at least jump into something else, dog. You know what I mean? Hold on. And, the simple fact that they even did that. Hey, hold on, let me jump into. So hey, that's a whole nother move. That's saying, hey, give me another chance, opportunity. Let me dip on my own. I know how you finna roll, so let me get on up out of here. And what was done? They scattered, jumped, and ended up dying anyway. Flooded out. Won't. But in their mind, hey, well, nah, you ain't gonna take me out right now. I rather do it myself. Let me take myself out. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that operation works out. That is a that's a good question though. Moving around, let's talk about that though. Moving around that dark spot. Again, you gotta be humiliated over the pride. I feel like uh you gotta be humiliated over the pride. I know, you know, Harold feels, things are situational for sure. And, things can be situational, but I just always feel like taking the most positive route at all times is the greatest situation that you can be in, even if it seems bad. What's how can I explain that? Okay. Um, oh, oh, this is tough here. Someone uh, physically slaps one of your loved ones right in front of you, right where you with them. Yep. They slap one of your loved ones. Boom, clean. You like, oh my gosh, why did you do that? Like, it's somebody got to go. Now somebody gonna need some straightening, right? So you was humiliated by getting slapped and just walking away, but nah, dog, you slapped my kid. They ain't have nothing to do with nothing, and that's just wrong. You don't go around hitting kids, abusing young people. No, so you got to go. You got to be dealt with, but the person that hit. Now, what if you find out now here they got some type of mental illness or something like that, or that you didn't know about, or at that present time they reached out and had a heart attack or some type of thing. Now, your kid got hit. Now your kid getting hit because of what this person was going through don't seem as bad because oh my gosh, they were actually kind of losing their life, right? So what Harold was saying, situational. So yeah, it does come into play, right? Gotta have situations because things could flip. But for the most part, you still want to take the high route and the most positive route at all times. Once again, man, this is James from the I Just Think Different podcast. James from the I Just Think Different podcast. I appreciate you guys from coming out, listening and watching the I Just Think Different podcast. What I try to do here is bridge the gap between race and culture, and people try to bring conversations to change lives and change the way that we are living sometimes, man, because it's a cold world out here sometimes, and it just ain't right. People don't be doing right things, and we trying to get the right back, trying to get some righteousness back. We gotta be cool, we gotta be good, and how do you do that? You gotta do that by leading by example and showing examples of doing so and doing such. So, with that being said, um, we gotta keep moving with the positive. We gotta keep doing things at a high rate that are positive influenced, that are positive driven, and that are for like the youth, because everything gotta go through the youth, with adults knowing that hey man, I have to raise up some kids here that are going to be in heavy influence on the world. Now, how do we do that? We got to get some interesting and talented things to do for the kids. We have to get kids excited about things. We have to spend time with the kids and show them better than what you had, all right? And not tell them, hey, this is a particular route that you have to go, but show them that, hey, doing this positive route right here, going this route will, um, we got to show kids, man, and we got to show kids God. That's what you got to do. You got to start your kids off with God. They got to know God, because it's going to be a tough life if you don't know God. You got to know God, man. So you got to sit your kid down and have some reflection time and let them know who Yahweh is, because that is the way for a more positive, uplifting life. I am a walking blessing myself, man. Been through so much in my life, as a lot of people have, I'm sure. And even though those times where it seemed like you down and there's nothing going on, I mean, I'm sitting here talking on a device that I had sitting around for a whole year before I even did anything with it, and then used it, and then let it sit for another year before I did anything with it. So it sat for 2 years before it even got some real use out of it. That's done probably past the warranty and everything, and really ain't got no use out of it. But the simple fact that I'm using it now and that is mine, that I can use it, let me know that, hey man, hey, when you're ready, things are available for you. When you're ready, things are available for you. You don't have to be stuck in a rut. I sat here stuck in a rut for I don't know how long, countless months and weeks, and agony and anxiety pacing through my heart, brain racing, thinking of all type of things, and then get nothing accomplished and hated myself for it. But the simple fact that it's been 31 days in this month. Tomorrow is the first, which is Black History Month, February. And I haven't smoked a black and mild, man. I don't have no coughs or phlegm coming up. That means something to me because a lot of times I've said that I've went plenty of days without, went more than 90 days without smoking one and so forth on. But in this particular time, I haven't even pulled up to try to even attempt to get one, to even talk about getting one or anything. So it's just something I just don't even care about anymore. And for me, I'm proud of that, to not be able to use those anymore, because that's something that I've been doing for a long time in my life, and that I can sit here and, you know what I'm saying, say that, hey, I'm free from it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I felt that that was a thing for me because, like I said, how much time I've spent doing it and saying, going back and forth and so forth on. But I mean, I honestly don't even feel nothing about it. I've even said that multiple times, but my wife can tell you, hey, nah, this one different, man. I don't even care. It's not even a thing. But I definitely appreciate you guys, for watching, for coming out, and to, look at the I Just Think Different podcast, to sit here and to listen to the I Just Think Different podcast. I also have another podcast coming tomorrow and Wednesday as well. So we're going to do 3 lives this week, or maybe just 2. I'm not sure if tomorrow's definitely gonna be live, but it's definitely getting recorded tomorrow and will be uploaded for you by Wednesday. So you're gonna get a podcast Monday, and you're gonna get a podcast Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you're gonna get one Wednesday or Thursday. So either way, it should be 3 audio recordings uploaded to you this week. So I'm keeping the trend going. I told you I'm trying to do 52. It's 52 weeks. And I'm trying to come here and give you the episodes, man. So CaPa time is something that me and Harold came up with, because he in Cali and I'm over here in Pennsylvania. And also I lived in California too. So CaPa graduated from the Los Angeles Recording School out there. So shout out to them. And now look, man, I got my own situation to hook up. Yo, Victor Choi, man, where you at? Victor Choi, if you ever see this or hear this, man, I know you used to tell me all the time, man, yo, James, yo, you should have a YouTube channel, man, you should have a YouTube channel. And, man, never really went into it like that, but now I understand. Yep. Should have had a YouTube channel, man, just to sit there and be able to build the content, just to show people who want to be able to start a YouTube channel how to just be there consistently, because that's something that I would tell people too, because I know people run into that. You run into fear of how it's gonna look and how it's gonna sound and what people gonna say and so forth on. But I'm telling you that regardless of what somebody is saying, regardless of what you may think, you have a talent to give to the world. So allow that talent to be given. Don't handicap yourself by making excuses saying you don't have it. No, you got everything. You got it. You definitely do. You definitely do. And here's the thing. The simple fact that people are trying to stop you from doing it should tell you that's you got it. Because guess what? If you didn't have it, what I need to tell you to stop for? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I don't need you to do nothing if you ain't got it. Hey, but you got it. So I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you from giving the world talented things, man. So humility over pride. That's exactly what it is. Humility over pride. You know? You gotta take it every time. Saves lives. Humility over pride saves lives. That kind of rhymes, right? But that's what I try to do. So like I said, man, we gonna go through all of these 7, man. We gonna go through these 7 deadly sins, and I want to bust down them 10 commandments too. Cause check it out. If you really look at the 10 commandments and you really analyze the 10 commandments, if you really follow them, not what man telling you to do, but what God told you to do. Cause man tell you to do a lot, but what did God say do? See, man, to take words and flip them all around and try and make you feel different. Nah, you gotta go have a conversation with God. What God tell you to do, and you follow them commandments, things will be right. Why you gotta kill, steal, rob, take somebody else, uh, mate, like, take somebody else, uh, you know, try to dip and dabble in somebody's relationship and all these things. You don't have to just, you don't have to be like that. Where these type of things even come from, man? Why people be having that energy and thoughts like that, man? Where did that even come from, man? I'm lost. I can't get down. I'm sorry. I can't get down like that. This not a stuff that even in my body that allows that, man. For real. So I'm cool with it, man. I'm definitely cool with it. And I'm cool with you stopping by, checking out the I Just Think Different podcast. Once again, man, I'm your host, James, from the I Just Think Different podcast. And tomorrow, we're going to have some real estate, man. We're going to have some real estate conversations tomorrow. I'm going to get that over to you so we can learn how to build, because that's the foundation, right? That's what it's all about. We got to learn how to build and get the right properties, man. We just can't be just getting properties. We gotta know what's the pros and cons about the properties, man. The ups and downs, the lefts and rights, ins and outs, all arounds. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try to give that to you tomorrow. And as far as the upcoming weeks, like I said, we're still searching for those moms. Where are those moms? All the moms that want to get on the I Just Think Different podcast and talk about, raising kids. Want to talk about what it means to be a mom, motherhood. Let's have discussions about that. Also, I want to do anxiety and depression too, because I got some things to talk about in there myself now, because I've actually went through it, man. I went through it. So I definitely got a lot of things that I can share as far as that is concerned. But that's why I'm here on this platform to give, insight on some things, man. I try to give you things that, you could be beneficial in a way that can uplift you if it can, That's what I try to come along and give you. So, every now and then you might hear this beat come on. It's the beat I like to ride out to. It's my vibe, I Just Think Different Podcast, man. We live. I threw the link in the chat. Anybody that want to hop on, you want to share it, you want to get down, you want to jump on the I Just Think Different Podcast, we can make it happen for you. We can set up a cam link or something, man. You can chop on and get on live. You can sit back and listen later. Either way, I'm your host, James. You're live in PA, man. Shout out to everybody in Pennsylvania, man. Pennsylvanians out here. Shout out to everybody in Michigan. Michiganders, Californians, Arizonians, and all the other states, man, and all the other countries in between, overseas, underseas, Thanks for everybody listening. Thanks for coming out tonight. On this Monday, man, you could have been anywhere, but you're here with me, and I appreciate it. So like I said, get prepared for that real estate conversation. Coming to you soon. About 48 hours to be exact. Try to give you some updates on some properties, man, the ins and outs on, what to look for. Yo, it's James. I Just Think Different Podcast, Just let that beat ride out.